Hi, my name is Wayne Dorr. I'm making this video today because I had a dream more than a week ago, and I wanted to share this dream to a large number of people. I've had dreams from God before, but in those previous occasions, they applied to me or my immediate family, and so it didn't really make any sense to talk about them publicly. This last dream that I had was more applicable to a large group of people, like I'm not sure, possibly the United States or possibly the world. I don't know how big the scope of it really is, but it's not limited to just me and my family or to just one area or to another. I think that this has wide implications. I've had to grapple with whether or not I should even post a video like this. It could affect my work. I don't want it to negatively affect how people view me at work, or possibly make me lose my position. I also am concerned about the possibility of whether or not this brings danger to my family. I have observed that Dana Coverstone, who is an Assembly of God pastor, he has had dreams from God that he has posted on YouTube, and in reaction he's even had death threats and other situations happen. And I certainly don't want to have that happen to me or my family, and I have to consider that as a possibility. I also anticipate that everybody is going to say, well, this is what this means and that's what that means, or you didn't do this right, or you didn't do that right, or it's not from God, or whatever. You know, I'm just trying to post this because I feel like this is important. I think one of the reasons why God uses dreams is the same reason why Jesus used parables in the New Testament. He wants to obscure the true meaning from those who are not discerning. And he wants those who are truly discerning to understand very clearly what's going on. So I think that God does do these things in unclear ways for those reasons. As well, I see an issue of censorship in the media and in social media in particular. I have concerns that this video could be taken down by various social media groups, or that I could have my account suspended, because I've watched people have their accounts suspended because of saying things that they know to be true. And this particular video is going to be focusing on a subject that is particularly hot on the censors' minds, and so I am concerned that it is going to be censored, and so I plan on having this video posted on a few platforms. That being said, I think I'd like to just get into the nature of the dream and tell you about it, and I'll tell you a little bit about what I think about the dream, at least what I've been able to pray about and what I've been able to decide on in the short time that I've been able to decide on this. I'm reading my notes off to the side here. I had this dream on the morning of July 22nd, 2021. In my case, I don't typically have repetitions of the dream, and I have not had a repetition of this dream. It only occurred one time, so I can't say that there's more pieces to this dream or not. I've only had this dream one time, and I've only had this one piece. So I'm going to read what I wrote that morning, and I have edited it since I originally wrote it, based on looking back at the original dream and trying to see how it would fit best together and trying to explain it to you. This morning I had an unusual dream. I would look up and see a piece of gum hanging over my head on a wire attached to the ceiling. I would move out of the way just in time before it fell on my head. It happened a total of 4 times. The first 2 times this happened, I was in different places, but I don't remember where they happened, just that the gum happened to be above me right before it fell, and that I would get out of the way in the nick of time. Then I saw that a Chinese man would fall out of the sky, presumably from a plane, wearing a special suit. The goal behind what he was doing was to spread COVID. The suit was similar to a spacesuit, meant to contain whoever was inside. There were many of these people, and they would land in various towns in these suits to infect cities. I saw that there was an effort by the good guys, for lack of a better term, to try to hijack the suit while the Chinese men were falling. In the process, the good guys would have to flash freeze the suit to get the suit to come off of the men. If the Chinese men didn't have the suit on when they landed, they would die. The Chinese government looked at their plan as a win-win scenario that no matter what the outcome was, they still had their way. After that, I was in a room worshiping with other Christian believers. The room in which we were worshiping was configured unusually. The person who was singing was on the left of the room. The podium was in the front. I didn't know any of the people inside the room. The only people who stood out to me in the crowd were the guy that was singing to the left and the lady who was at the podium in the front. The man singing was singing a song I didn't know, but I was able to anticipate much of the lyrics. We had to turn to face the main singer or the person speaking at the podium. On the 3rd time that the gum almost fell on me, I was amazed because this piece of gum seemed to have suddenly appeared without seeing anyone attach it to the ceiling. Out of the whole room of people, I seemed to have been targeted. On the 4th time, I was in the same room, and mysteriously I was targeted again. I moved out of the way just in the nick of time. I immediately went to the front and asked for prayer from the lady who was at the podium. I didn't know what was going on, how it got there, or why it was happening to me. She looked at me incredulously, as if I had attached the gum on the wire to the ceiling myself. I insisted that I didn't know what was going on. I woke up at that point. I am certain that the image of gum on a wire about to drop on my head is analogous, and these are some of my notes, is analogous to the Chinese men who were falling out of the sky to infect towns. Gum is sticky after it has been chewed, and COVID has a unique ability to adhere to cells because of its protein spikes. Also, it's easier to remove gum from things when it's cold or frozen, just like it was easier to remove the spacesuit from these Chinese men while they were falling as it was being flash frozen. And also, after considering some of the imagery of the dream, I also believe that I was representative of either a group of people or a place. I'm not exactly sure. I think, though, that this dream does also show that there is a hidden enemy among believers. And we need to be careful where we point our fingers. The people who seem to be the obvious person may not be so obvious. They may just be the victim. Other than that, I don't really have a lot of insight to this dream. I've been praying about it for more than a week, as I said earlier, and I hope that you would listen to this dream and then pray about it also before making any assumptions or coming to any conclusions. I think that this dream has a spectrum of potentially the United States, potentially the world, but has a specific focus to the body of Christ. I think that the people that were worshiping in that room represented people that were in the body of Christ. And that if certain people or a certain group or a certain place of the body of Christ is being attacked, then we as the body of Christ need to come to their aid. And I hope that we can be wise enough to look out for that hidden enemy and to try to thwart the enemy's plans and to work together instead of look at each other in suspicion. It's way too easy to look at other people in suspicion. Part of my job, I deal with a lot of, for lack of a better term, unruly people who don't like to follow rules. And, you know, there's not really a lot of gray area. It's usually a lot of black and white. You know, these people were obviously doing something bad, and so now I have to do something else about it. And, you know, I think this particular dream shows that who might look like the bad guy may not be the bad guy at all. The bad guy might be someone who is not yet revealed, or at least obscured. They're at least obscured. I think that the meaning of this dream is intentionally vague. I think God does this for good reason. And so I hope and pray that you will consider all that I've said, that you'll look at this with prayerful intent, and you'll ask God to show you what is being said about this as well. Well, thank you very much for listening to this video.